a lot of biowork projects, choose to support those projects that might be closer in alignment to having proper animal research ethics. Right? So that is a concern. I will say the general public does think that we're mad.
I was going to ask that, but she's sort of preempted.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure that my father is like, entertained to no end, but also shocked that his taxpayers dollars are paying for this. But I do think that sometimes I offer myself up as a fool in exchange for a different type of transmission. I'm not a teacher. I'm not teaching people from a top-down way about biotech, but I am allowing them a unique opportunity to formulate some of their own opinions based on real experience rather than something they saw in the media. And if I get labeled a fool or a demon in exchange for that, then I'm happy to do so.
I have to say that the big tattoos and the imposition of skin and the pixar kills is very reminiscent to me of the passion for tattooed bodies during the Holocaust, which are equally.
Absolutely.
So it certainly engendered a great shudder in me.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons why I show that work is because I do think it's a real example of something that could go, I'm not going to say that this is a benign practice and that there aren't instances that might be of danger, and some of that danger might be to the pigs, but some of that danger is also just in, we need to be really careful if we're going to reuse that type of image set on how it's used, because it's a real atrocity, and it could quite easily become, tattooed pigs could quite easily be on MTV as the next populist hip-hop.
Well, that bothers me.
And we want to be really careful.
That was really problematic.
Oh, it was problematic, but also brilliant on a lot of levels. First of all, it depends what exhibit it is and where the bodies come from.
Yes.
Second of all, it depends on whether or not we think of that as education or as entertainment. And there was a lot of negotiation over that. The last thing that's really interesting about it, and some of the work I didn't show you here today, there's a biowork piece recently that's probably going to win some serious awards this year that's made of human flesh that was donated by people who were having breast reduction. Is that we still have incredible taboos around the human body. And I think that is a really interesting access point to some really significant discussions that we could have that fall into many different specializations and categories in terms of our history, our culture, and our religious belief system. So I'm not intrinsically opposed to the use of human specimens. In fact, I've worked in a number of anatomy labs myself. But I think that it's imperative that we know where those specimens came from, under what circumstances they were donated.
You're an art student. Do you have any questions for her? I mean, this is probably it's new territory for me. It might be for you too. Do you have a specific comment or question?
I think it's really interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe.
It's also kind of overwhelming the first time. So if any of you think of something a week from now, you can email me later. Okay.
Any couple of students, any comments or any reactions? Feel comfortable if you?
I walked in a little late. My name is Ronaldo, but
Hi.
just interested in what you were doing, just the biotech industry as a whole. But I did want to know, I guess it's maybe not related. What would you say the largest incubator that you built?
The largest incubator that I've built?
Yeah.
The largest incubator I've used is really just like a half-size one. So they're about 4 by 4 by 2.5 maybe. But the term incubator is really just applied to an environment that's artificially heated. Quite often they're brought to body temperature if you're doing mammalian research. So one of my artists, the girl who's doing the biodegradable incubator, she's making hers life-size so that a human body can fit inside of it. But we could also, if we lit some candles and closed the doors, we could call this room an incubator if we conceived of that as artificially bringing that temperature up. So it's a really open, vague description. A lot of this equipment that I've showed you that's very small in my work, at an industrial scale, they'll, maybe when the size of that building exists in a variety of different sort of industrial applications.
Well, we are incubators.
Well, and this is something we didn't talk about, is that some of the new work I'm doing, I'm really modifying a lot of lab equipment to sort of bring the connections back to their biological origins. And so I have a life-size lamb being built right now, in the same type of lamb as the dolly was, I think it was Dorset U, with an incubator built into the side of her. And so the door is visible, but you can open it up and keep living specimens inside. And because a lot of this equipment is built to mimic living organisms, but also living organisms are actually better than the equipment. Like if we weren't so ethically concerned about the lamb, it would be much better to just, stick the specimens inside of a lamb. And in fact, they're doing a lot of that type of research now in terms of growing and harvesting organs or enzymes within living animals because they really are the best incubators, the best bioreactors.
Well, we'd like to thank you for a